with us here we have visitors. I think you kind of have been told of what you are likely to experience here, but I do not want to preempt what they have for us. So I believe that we are going to get something here which is good for us and for our community. And when I talk of our community, I am also encompassing our school because it is our community as well. So maybe before we start off, I would like us to have a bit of introduction, because it is always good to be talked to by the people that you know.
Kwa majina, I'm Rose Murunga. I work for Christian Community Healthcare Foundation Kenya. That organization, it's an NGO based in Kitale here. We have our office in Town County Estate. And I'm glad to be with you because we want to share something with you youth about our culture and heritage. Si ndivyo? Si kila mtu I've seen we are mixed. Acheng amekuwa, Njeri amekuwa, Barasa amekuwa, si ndio? Kila watu wako na culture yao, si ndio? But labda wengine hatujui our culture, si ndio? Ni mzuri pia tujue the importance of our culture, and we are here to run this activity with you students and see how it can benefit us. Hata kwa masomo yetu, how culture can benefit us, si ndivyo? So I'm here with my colleague. He'll introduce himself, and then of course our teacher also will introduce himself.
Thank you, Ross. Good morning. Good morning once more. Okay, I'm Michael Ochin, and we are from KOEF, Kenya. Just like the way you've heard from us, we are from Gatua. The office is based in Gatua County Estate. So I'm the executive director of KOEF Kenya. Now, just the way you've heard, KOEF Kenya is an NGO that majorly is based in Kitale, that is in Gatua. But we focus on three key pillars of health, education, peace, youth and women empowerment, and then we have agriculture. Now, generally, about this project on fusion, fusion is just a way in which we want to appreciate one's culture, because as you've realized that we come from different backgrounds, and each and every person has got his or her own way of living, okay? Because for this to happen, it means that we are living together in a social setting, okay? That social setting, if you are not able to appreciate the other person's culture, then there is bound to be a problem, okay? So it is that culture that we are interested in learning about today. Sasa. So for that brief introduction, thank you. Now, so generally I'll give you a brief about fusion as a project. Now, so as you can all see, that fusion is a project that is funded by Erasmus Plus. Now, Erasmus Plus is a project inafandiwa na European Commission. Okay? So this project entails organizations that are coming from three different regions. We have organizations that are in Europe, in Asia, Latin America, and now we have us here in Africa, KOEF Kenya. So in Africa, it is us, KOEF Kenya, that is taking part in the fusion project. In Europe, we have Italy, we have Spain, and we have France. In Asia, we have India, and then in Latin America, we have Ecuador. Now, what is the aim of this project? Because any other project that is being started has got an aim that it has to meet. That is the objective. So one of the aim of this project is to develop new educational approaches based on non-formal and intercultural heritage education and gamification methods for the valorization of intercultural heritage among young people. In other words, we are saying that this project is meant to come up with the new educational methods that we can use to teach culture. Now, these methods majorly will be methods that will be non-formal in nature. Non-formal is a method of learning whereby you don't have to sit in a classroom setting. You don't have to be in a classroom setting to be able to undertake learning. Okay? So you could be doing it without knowing that you are already learning. Are we together? So that's what we'll be able to do today. Also, another aim is to promote intercultural understanding and cooperation and social cohesion of disadvantaged young people. So what I'm trying to say is this: as people come together, you share with each and every person. Like now, the organizations that we are in this project, we come from different countries, different continents. But when you meet, there are certain things that when you do, the other person, if they don't know about your culture, they'll assume that you are backward, okay? But back at home, that's the normal way of living. So, when we get together, we get to learn to appreciate each and everyone's own culture. Are we together? Now, so what is this culture? Because we're talking about culture, but we don't know what it is. What is culture? From you, I just want to know from you, what is culture? Nani anajua? Yes.
What I understand about culture.
Louder, please.
What I understand about culture is that the way people live in a particular community or in a particular
Yes, let's clap for it. Any other person? What is culture? Yes.
culture is a way in which in a certain community people relate with each other and how they are able to socialize with one another in a particular society.
That's true. Let's clap for them. Yes. Your hand was up. Yes.
According to me, culture is how people in a particular community conduct themselves by practicing different events of different types, and also how they relate and socialize with each other.
Again, now, all of you are right. Okay? As we know, culture is a way of life of people. Now, what forms part of culture? What are activities or events or norms that are part of culture? Just examples. And by the way, I'm a trained high school teacher professionally. I'm a high school teacher by profession. History, I was teaching history and business studies. Okay? So, what are these events, norms that form part of culture? Yes. Yes, that's right. Yes? Agricultural practices, yes.
Business activities.
Business activities, yes. Madam, your hand was up. Sorry? All of them, they have said origin or sheep. Yes?
Different religion in a society.
Religion,
Economic way of how people live.
economic activities, yes.
Ways of carrying out their weddings,
Ways of carrying out their
wedding ceremonies.
wedding ceremonies. Yes, that's right. So, once will be done here, we'll put you into groups, okay? Just some simple groups. We said we are going to conduct non-formal way of learning, okay? And then from your groups, you will have the team leaders who will come and present whatever you have discussed in that respective group, okay? But now, for our own learning purposes, whatever language you are comfortable with, be it Kiswahili or English, feel free to present in any of those languages, okay? Yes. Now, before I sit down, I think I'll welcome the teacher to take over, and then once he's done, then I'll be back again.
I hope you all have ever been in a class of history, even though maybe at one point or the other you chose geography and left history. But when we are talking of culture, taking you back to what you learned in Form 1, I think you will realize that you looked at the importance of studying history. And among all those points that you gave out, one of the points was touching on culture. I don't know if one of you can remember anything about culture in terms of importance of studying history.
We are able to learn other communities' culture and the exchange.
That is
ourselves.
Yes, thank you. Can you clap for her? Yeah, actually that is what we looked at. Apart from that, we also went ahead and looked at the social and economic organizations of various Kenyan communities. Like, for example, we looked at the social organization of the Maasai, we looked at the Somali. In general, we looked at the Cushitic groups, Nilotic groups, and also looked at what? The Bantu groups. When you are looking at these cultural aspects, social organization of these different communities, what did you realize across? Like, for example, looking at the Bantu groups, looking at the Nilotic groups and the Cushitic groups, did you realize anything that was unique? If you had realized this, there are some communities that shared a common culture. There are some cultural aspects that are more the same than they are different. And we have some aspects which are different from others. Are we together? Yes. But above all, you realize that all these communities are called Kenyan communities. So we are different, but one. So in other words, I'm trying to say, our diversity is our unity. And Africa is one of the continents in the world. Of course, 6 continents that are inhabited by people. And you realize that what? Africa has its own unique culture. And there is that what we are now referring to as cultural heritage. The word heritage coming from what? Inheriting. That which we have inherited from the generations ahead of us. So there are some things that we inherited as a continent, as a nation, or as a community, or as a family. Are we together? And like, for example, looking at the uniqueness of Africa as a continent in terms of culture, because there are so many things that we are proud of as a continent that other nations or other continents may not be having. And for this reason, you'll be seeing most of these people in the name of tourists from other continents coming to Africa. Why? Because they would want to see that which is different, which is in Africa, that is not in their continent. Are we together? All the same, there are also some other cultural aspects that are in other continents which are not in Africa. We have been seeing most of the Africans going outside the continent to go and see that which is beyond Africa, that is not located in Africa. Remember, no one's culture is better than the other. All cultures are equal, for as long as each and every culture does not interfere negatively with another person's culture. God bless you.
Now, I believe that by now everyone now, at least if you ask what culture is, or what cultural heritage is, you can comfortably say what it is, right?
Yes.
Now, as a youth, if you are asked, how can you promote cultural heritage? As a youth, how can you promote cultural heritage in this modern world now? How can you do that? Yes.
By introducing
By?
the cultural in the
by introducing culture in the media. Yeah, that's right. If you visit, for example, Fort Jesus, you can take a photo there and then you share, maybe on YouTube, on these other social sites, okay? Facebook and all that. Somebody who had not visited Fort Jesus will be able now to see Fort Jesus. But in real sense, they have not been there. But at least you've let them know there is a cultural heritage site called Fort Jesus, okay? Yes. On the other hand, you can also do that through songs, okay? Now, when you do the kind of songs, that's also another way of promoting culture. Are we together? So, in other words, we want our culture to be passed from one generation to the other. Let it not die out. Now, so what we have two major exercises. One, no, don't write. We have two major exercises now. One, we'll put you into groups, okay? In those groups, you just write one word. As in each and every one of you to give a word that describes culture, okay? For example, culture has got the aspect of community. So you get one word per person within that respective group that describes culture, and then we'll give you a flip chart. You'll divide the flip chart into two. The first part, one word that describes culture or cultural heritage, and then the other part, there are photos we pinned on the wall. We'll request you to go around in the groups, check the name, note the name. You will not go with any pen or paper. You just walk there bare hand, okay? Note the name and the location, the country where that cultural heritage site is, okay? And then when you come back, we'll put you into groups and try to remember the ones you've seen, note down the names and the country. And then we'll close at the end of that. Sasa. Swali kabla tuanze. Swali?
Masore yukwenda kawai. Niye ndiane kale ne mandari. Akukwafula. Alubatine James wabwirene ne poi. Kakuloma kiro mwazi. Mwana wa maikali alukubika. Awukachule kwa mendari. Warakikerdika omukusoka matai onangali kwa memese oli wagendanga ne bwenya
ariena
usili wema mu Ethiopia oli wakonera mu Ethiopia
ulira
walura mpaka weja wora mu Sudani
bona
uba malimu honemwe
akosi
oli wama mu Sudani
ulizina
yekweja mali mu Kenya
mwefwe muno
abwena ena marare mana ni mundari
ulira
babusu kwagenda
kenda uriye
wakana ni mukisu ngali wakubula
ulira
kane kabona mukusu
akosi
wamukwako wamukumba
emulwa
na wefwe watibileje
akosi
alingali nyanga yoline enonde koloka kuchengo
ulira
wajja kola wa mukisu
ngomuno
endalejeka kuyagwa
wakihonya
wakarengeka kwakanyanya
namalwa
asikuhimba kelebe basoreli wakuluzya
polisi
akuluzya wamasaba
ali
olikola wamasaba
akosi
bamukusinyanga yole angajule mubamanyina
kachula
ibajuka soluhoniyo
akosi
basawa bone muliyo kemukakweke mumwekwe
akosi
tukabuse nyanga yola
okake
olikola wamasaba osingali bakihonya oli bakihonya kwanja kulya
enama
asibuyima kelebende
akosi
masaba ngali warangira
ulira
kisu ngali wamulagwa
enyuma
oli wakenda kola
ulira
abakola kumupaka nuko ukuchinirwo lwakaka
lwefu
masaba we masingele alikamaroba nahuwele
ulira
oso mwana wa baba
Akosi.
Kamaroba nahuwele.
Akosi.
Unasikurusha masaba.
Elikonita.
Isho nishosha na mwima.
Akosi.
Isho bamisa kwa basabamo. Waelija wana meme.
Wana meme.
Omwisa kwa lola lukuru. Lwe musayo ni lwe mumwekwe. Akubole bache gombe.
Arome.
Chowasingali wa mmoli.
Oyosi.
Kabo mumosu muwanga.
Mungali.
Osibo ne bawa.
Awele.
Wakalome nyanga yakwa.
Roma Roma.
Kabuso kwara mabuza.
Buza buza.
Kanuni bolera wangu.
Mungali.
Kabakaelija wana meme.
Wana meme.
My name is Mosok Brili Sanyam. Today we've been learning about cultural heritage. Cultural heritage, in one word, it means inheritance. The importance of creating cultural awareness, it enables us to learn the stories of the past events. Through non-formal education, we can create this cultural awareness by posting them in the social media.
My names are Duncan, Dorian, Wichuli. Today we have learned about cultural heritage. Cultural heritage, in one word, we can say it's artifacts. It helps in gaining economically for our country by printing of billboards, banners, and telling people about the importance of cultural heritage.
My name is David Laban Wanyonyi. I'm a teacher at Birunda High School and I teach history and CRE. Today we have learned about cultural heritage and I can express cultural heritage in one word like a kind of a tradition or an inheritance. The importance of cultural heritage is that one, it has economic importance, value to our country. Again, it also provides a forum for people to learn about their past cultural activities and cultural life. As a youth, I can use non-formal ways to teach about cultural heritage, like for example, creating Facebook accounts, WhatsApp, YouTube, and then I post there related articles or documents about the same, like photos of historical site, artifacts, or rather archaeological remains that are related to cultural heritage. Thank you.